Okay, so we're back with Star Wars Legacy, and this is the end of Volume 1. Cade has arrived on Coruscant to free the Jedi that he helped capture. But of course, he's intercepted by the Sith Darth Talon. They have a quick duel before he's taken out by Darth Nihil, who is the same Sith who killed Cade's father. He then gets taken to Darth Maladi, who tortures him, but using his healing abilities, he's able to withstand lethal doses of poison. And this is also where he meets Darth Krayt for the first time. And I had a feeling that he would eventually join the dark side in some capacity, since he has been connected to it in a way since the beginning of the story. Sin and Blue are both injected with the Yuuzhan Vong Coral Seed, so that Cade is motivated to use his healing abilities, proving that he actually has them. And he's able to heal them both at the same time. And then I kind of saw this coming. He trades himself for his friend's freedom, them going free, and he stays at the Sith Temple. And we get to see Darth Nihil and Darth Maladi questioning Krayt's decisions and his obsession with Skywalker. And I feel like this is kind of setting up the Sith Order potentially collapsing, which is something that the Sith holocrons alluded to. And while this is happening, Cade's mother meets up with Sin and Blue and a few other people and plan a rescue for Cade. And now I'm going to read a lot of the backstory that we get of Darth Krayt because I think it's pretty interesting. And this is what Krayt tells Cade. I was scouting, apart from my troops, when Order 66 was issued, commanding the clones to kill their Jedi generals. I saw other Jedi slain. I killed the clones assigned to execute me, saving only one long enough to learn why. Then I fled the planet. The Jedi comm channels were silent. I reached out through the Force, but could not sense any other Jedi. A light had gone out in the galaxy, and I was alone. The Jedi Purge, as it became known, was extraordinarily effective. I made my way to Tatooine and became war leader of several clans of Tusken Raiders, as my father had before me. Settlers and moisture farmers had been stealing Tusken land and water for years, driving my people further into the Jundland Waste. Under my command, the Tuskens were once again a feared and potent fighting force, reclaiming what was rightfully ours. Then, one day, it was a little moisture farm near the port of Mos Eisley. A plot claimed by a husband and wife when all the sand belonged to the Tuskens. And this is where Darth Krayt and Obi-Wan Kenobi meet. The Force be with you, Master Kenobi. So you too survived Order 66. I thought I was alone. What brings you to Tatooine, let alone these tactless wastes? You do, Master Het. You lead these Tuskens as their warlord, not something a Jedi should do. Do not lecture me, Obi-Wan. We were both generals in the Clone Wars. Warlords for a republic that turned on us. The Tuskens have been hunted and killed by both settlers and farmers. Jedi defend those who need help. Sometimes you defend life by taking the life of the aggressor. Past mistakes do not justify current ones. The danger is in becoming what you fight. It was the trap that the Jedi fell into. It is the trap that takes you now. It must stop. You must see that, Asharid Het. I do not. I was raised to manhood among the Tuskens by my father, Sharid Het, the greatest Jedi of his age. He taught me to think and act as a Tusken. These are my people. Will the settlers stop killing Tuskens? Then blood calls for blood. The settlers will be forced to abandon the land or be buried beneath it. I cannot permit that. You are a great Jedi, Het, and the son of a great Jedi, but you have given yourself over to revenge. It stops here. You will have a Jedi funeral, Master Kenobi. That I promise. They do end up having a duel, but obviously we know both of them survive this. Obi-Wan ends up taking his hand and taking his face covering off, which is basically him showing that he has bested this warlord of the Tuskens, and his people essentially turn their backs on him. And Kenobi ends up sparing his life and letting him go, hoping that he would be able to see a new path forward and potentially redeem himself, I suppose. Talon attacks Cade, and then he overpowers her using his abilities, and then he's essentially forced by Krayt to heal her, and this is one of a few ways they try to deepen the bond between Talon and Cade to make him easier to control. And we see Darth Nihil thinking if Krayt dies, there is no heir, and the strongest Sith is going to have to step up and take charge, echoing the Sith of old, which I think is just more foreshadowing of the Sith Order falling apart. And we also find out that Darth Maladi is also aware of these old teachings that aren't allowed by Krayt. So it kind of hints at that she might be kind of thinking the same thing. And Nihil is also worried that Krayt will name Skywalker the heir. And we do see Cade going through some training in the Sith Temple with Talon. And we cut to 3 weeks later. So Cade's friends and his mother have been planning to break him out of the Sith Temple for 3 weeks. And he's also been training in the ways of the Sith for that long. And through Talon, we do get to see some more of Krait's backstory. Our legends tell how, following his exile from Tatooine, Asharad Het became a bounty hunter masking his Jedi skills. Het followed a bounty called Resk to Korriban, where a storm forced them down. There was no mercy in the storm, and less in Het. My master followed the voice he felt rather than heard, a darkness calling to his darkness until he found a sealed door. The voice came from within. Using the Force, my master shattered the barrier to find... I am Zozin. I was one of the first of the Sith Lords, one of those who abandoned the Jedi Order to seek a darker path to truth. My tomb has lain in the belly of this temple for long ages, my presence hidden from those who sought me until now. I have waited for someone like you, someone who has served the light and found it empty, who has found how lacking the galaxy is, someone who has known anger, hate, and despair. My brethren and I invented what it means to be a Sith. Are you willing to open yourself to that truth? And all of this conversation and talk of darkness calling to darkness leads to Talon and Cade hooking up, which I saw coming. And through these Vong beetles that were released within the Sith temple by Cade's mother, they're able to see this happen. And then they question, well, if we try and save Cade, is he actually going to come with us? And Cade's mother says, well, if he's a Sith, he's not my son, and I'll kill him. And obviously, Cade and Talon hooking up was just another way to get closer to him and control him. And even after this happens, Cade is not really on their side, he only pretends to be. Talon is aware of this and she informs Krait of this as well. And Krait's response to this is, for Cade there shall be no escape. What he thinks is a lie is his truth. The darkness in him calls out and he will become one of us by his own choice. Cade is then strapped up to the embrace of pain. And Krait goes on to explain more of his backstory to him. I left for the unknown regions, determined to lose myself. I learned that unknown was not the same as empty. The Force was telling me nothing of my attackers. I fled toward what I thought was safety, only to discover the direction in which I was fleeing was more dangerous than the direction from which I had come. I had never seen a ship like the one that engulfed me, or warriors like the ones I faced, or weapons like the ones that downed me. I awoke in an embrace of pain, like the one that now holds you. My cybernetic hand had been replaced with something organic, something that felt pain, and I sensed someone else in the chamber. You will not know her, I think. Master Vigir was once a Jedi who had vanished before the Clone Wars, on a mission to the living planet Zonama Sekot. There were claims she herself was a student of Darth Sidious, and fled the galaxy when her attempt to kill him failed. But lies and truth were only means to an end for her, as I was to learn. I sense darkness in you, and I in you. Help me. We'll escape together. Escape is out of the question. Would you be free? First, you must free your mind. Accept your pain. Allow it to feed your dark anger. Learn to invite its grip. We will talk again. My existence was an endless state of pain, dominated by experiments, by the Shaper caste. My body was enhanced, the better to withstand the strains put upon it. My left eye was replaced with the eye of a Vong creature. Between sessions with the Shapers, Vigir would sometimes come. Her manner was oblique at first, full of half-truths, deceptions, and denials. But my Sith-trained senses could see past her evasions. She claimed to have been trained as a Sith by the Emperor, Darth Sidious himself. A mission to Zonama Sekot had brought her into contact with the Yuuzhan Vong, and she went away with them. Vigir taught me to use the agony of the embrace of pain to open myself to the dark side. That's when I received my vision. She left me. Alone I would follow my vision for the Sith and the galaxy. I needed to live. I needed to escape. And my enemies needed to die. Time passed. When the moment came, I seized it. Fire and red ruin marked my path. The Vong implants enabled me to use the cognition hood in one of their coral skippers and escape. It was necessary for the Vong to believe I was dead, so the entire ship and all on it needed to die. Vigir, tucked away small and unnoticed in the Force on another Vong ship, might sense that I lived, but she could say nothing without revealing herself. That she would not do. On the eve of the Yuuzhan Vong invasion, I escaped back into the galaxy. I could have warned the Republic of the coming invasion, but that would have meant revealing myself. Asharad Het died on the Vong ship. Darth Krait was born and returned to Korriban. First as an apprentice to Zozin, ready to embrace the way of the Sith, then as a master prepared to create a new order. I paid no heed while the Yuuzhan Vong ravaged the galaxy. We later sought to bring the Dark Jedi, Lumiya, into the order, but she sided with Vigir and her creation, Darth Caedus. Caedus, another Skywalker, gone to the dark side. served our plans, however unwittingly. He was a Sith lightning rod, attracting the Jedi's attention away from us. So long as the Jedi did not suspect our existence, Korriban would hide us beneath its miasma of dark side energy. I should not have survived what the Vong did to me, yet I endured. I needed long years of stasis to allow my body to heal, but my mind remained open to my closest disciples. The first Darth Wylock became the instrument of my will in those days. The Sith waited and grew strong until it was time to emerge. Now that we have Krait's backstory, I do think he's a pretty interesting character. And as a villain, I think he works well. Not only is his backstory tied in with the Clone Wars and the Jedi Purge, but heavily with the Yuuzhan Vong, and even mentioning things like Jacen Solo turning to the dark side. I really like how this ties in a lot of different stuff to this new era. And Cade ends up getting out of his cell and trying to escape. He runs into Darth Talon, who takes him to Krayt because, they saw this coming. But this also is a signal to Cade's allies that he is ready to be rescued, basically. And Krayt has Hosk Trayless brought in, which is the Jedi Bothan that Cade was trying to save. And he wants Cade to kill him. And this is all to manipulate Cade to join the dark side fully. It doesn't really work, and Hosk ends up getting killed by Krayt, but then becomes one with the Force. Cade takes on Krayt and Nihil, while Krayt is basically trying to egg Cade on to kill Nihil, saying that he's the one who killed your father, get your revenge, join the dark side. But Cade refuses to kill him because he knows that's what Krayt wants. Do you think you can stand against me, Skywalker? I completed training both Jedi and Sith. I honed my skills in the Clone Wars, and I've killed thousands of opponents since then. You are neither Jedi nor Sith, just a mewling brat, wallowing in righteous self-pity. The only thing that saves you thus far is the blood of Vader that runs through your veins. There is no possibility of escape, no hope of rescue. You are trapped within the citadel of your enemies. Your only hope of survival is to give in to the raw anger that is your true legacy. During this duel, Cade's mother arrives and blasts Krayt in the back, giving Cade the chance he needs to escape. He reunites with his friends on the Minarch and they all get out of there. And that is the end of Volume 1. There was a lot in this that I didn't really cover, a lot to do with the Imperials and a lot of the setup of the rescue for Cade. I really just wanted to focus on Darth Krayt and Cade's story. And as a first arc all together, including this, I think this was a really great introduction to this new era of Star Wars. And I'm super excited to continue covering Legacy on the channel. And this material is basically all brand new to me. So from my perspective, I'm getting new Star Wars stories in a new Star Wars era. And that's pretty awesome. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. I hope you guys stick around for more. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.